Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the Quickview series. We are firmly into the time of year we would call predator weather. It's chilly in here. It's chilly out there. Does this give tires an advantage? I think it does. I think that this, still, once again, my brain refuses to retain the easy way to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's the upper 40s in Fahrenheit. It's about 53 degrees Fahrenheit inside the building. I have poured and perused various websites trying to find a little outdoor dial thermometer that has both centigrade and Fahrenheit as well as relative humidity on it, and you can have two of the three. You can have Fahrenheit and humidity, you can have Celsius and humidity. I have Fahrenheit and humidity. You can have Fahrenheit and Celsius, but I also want humidity. I guess I could get a separate barometer. Anyway, before this goes on for too long, this is a quick view. We forgot to leave one tire unmounted. So, here you go. 2.2 Baja Claw. For those unaware, my hands are fairly large. I wear an extra large in gloves. This is enormous. I want to say around the second largest Class 3 2.2 tire we've tested. It is indeed X2SS. It is fitted with a foam that I can't remember. I dug them off the rack and found a foam that would fit them. These are voluminous, and they feel very soft and tacky. X2SS is not a compound that falls into the same pitfalls as, say, Predator, Extreme Route, Dawnwall Gold, Injora S5, where they're like really temperature dependent. 148, which is just 5 13/16. That's big. I want to say the Kryptonite Customs USD Sticky a little bit bigger, but it gets to that height by having unbelievably tall lugs, like 7, 8, 9 millimeter tall lugs. These don't have that. That's like a 4 millimeter lug, and we're looking at a tire that's 148. And 50, I'd put it right on 55 wide, aka 2 1/8. That is not overwhelmingly wide for a tire of this size. Now, it is a single stage foam in there, so it is going to maximize forward drive. We're going to see how that does on sidewall, and of course these will be mounted to the guy that tests Class 3s around here, the Wolverine, who there is this ever-growing internet lore that Wolverine is somehow monstrously capable. I don't see how that would be. We have no shock mounting options. I chose the link mount positions based on the links that I put together, and they've never been changed. Offset Capra axles that are about $140 after you put all the pieces into them. He's got some little cheap outer weights. Wolverine is about a $400 rig. The single most expensive component of him being I bought a stealth gearbox. Well, I mean the axles, but if you cut the axle cost in half, then the single most expensive part would be the gearbox. He's on the third gearbox that we've tried. Like, if this guy is the end all and the be all, did I just strip out a wheel nut? Okay, we need to remove that because I don't want that to be. Oh yeah, that's the part you don't want. That's not good. I don't want that to be future me's problem. And when we get into 5mm wheel nuts, the only way I found to buy them was in a giant 100 bag on Amazon. So, well, that's why it wouldn't drive it. There's the wheel nut that I couldn't find. It was in there. We don't do edits here. I don't know if you could tell. There are edits in post, but there aren't edits right now. So, oof, that was really tight. That is a brand new nut Let me see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nylox. Don't forget. Don't forget. Remember not to forget. Nylox are, by their definition, single use. Also, commit this to memory because it's useless and it affects no one. The cuckoo clock is 6 hours and 18 minutes off. Based on that, you should be able to determine what time it is. 2-2. Big boy Baja claws. Heading out to the rocks in perfect predator weather. And you'll see these foams feel pretty quite squishy. We're getting no... I'm getting no static bag out of these. We've got 80 some odd millimeters of clearance under the center. It'll be interesting to see. I have yet to meet a Baja claw that I didn't like. So this one should be up there in the scoring. I cannot off the top of my head remember where OG, the 1.9 Class 2 Baja claws, I want to say high 97s. I would expect nothing different from these. Welcome outdoors, everybody. We begin the morning with a spate of camera-related issues that took 20 minutes to repair. It is 46 degrees and 90% relative humidity. That's kind of in the heart of predator weather. I've never found excess humidity to take away from the performance of a tire. When you get to the point of humidity where it turns into water, sure, yeah. X2SS, though, a compound that pretty much does not fall off in performance terms when the ground is wet. So, probably not much to worry about there. What we do have is, whatever histamine is, we got a lot of that. So I'm going to be sniffling and probably sneezing the whole way through. Allergies will at some point destroy me. Take a finger from each hand and press on your temples. And that's what it feels like my body is trying to do to me right now. But as anticipated indoors, 2-2 Baja claw, let me see. Get a little right there. I'm watching that driver rear. Yep. Like micro hesitations, and we're talking about micro hesitations in a tire that was moments ago sitting on a tire rack with no foam in it. So picked a foam, picked a wheel that wasn't already in another tire, slapped them together, and here we go. Now, ground clearance. That we have, that we've definitely got. Let's see. That's a little high. That's a little low. How about right there? We'll just let it run. I just like to see where what path it chooses. Yeah, like there aren't even any moments where I hear no mechanical interference noises whatsoever. How deep can we get on the side? Will these fall off? I mean, that, as I said, that foam feels super squishy. Just a single stage, something to fill a tire of that size. And when I stayed into steering lock way longer than anyone would, it's the exact amount of forward drive I would expect from a Baja Claw. In the continuing spirit of Baja Claw, I will be surprised if we are surprised. Let's see, how much slip are we going to get here? Yeah, next to none. And also, yes, I do definitely take into account, it doesn't impact the score. It's not a scored parameter? No. Aspect? No. It's not something we score, but these are enormous. 148 millimeters, which means unless you've built yourself something like this, I mean, Capra axle width at the smallest. Rift? Have you pieced together a bomber or a Wraith? There's not a lot of things you're going to run a tire this big on. Tires up in this size, I'm trying to think. Accessing database. Have we found one of these that doesn't work? like in the 5.75s. Look at that turn in. You would never think it's a single stage foam. Yeah, we can get really, I can really get way too far over. I know that that's a single stage foam in there, but it doesn't really behave like it. And it does give us the ability at 148 millimeters to, come on, come on. That's not the line. Ordinarily, this isn't even something you can try because you can't get up over that little ledge that the rear tire just got over. It's too high. Yeah. Down into a cogging level of throttle input, and we're still pulling. Yes, 5.75s will go places. If nothing else, I think what we've shown in these tests in the past, whether they be rear views, quick views like this one, build yourself something lanky. Get yourself out like a 340 millimeter wheelbase. There are a lot of Capra axle options out there, offset Capras. Shocks are cheap nowadays. Throwing one of these together is not expensive, and again, I refute those who are like, oh yeah, well, Wolverine, the gentleman in question here, well, he makes tires look good. I don't know, but like how? Ooh, really loading that rear up there. Whoa. A side lug betrayal. They don't happen often. Whenever I make any changes to equipment, the test is to come out and film a video with it. That way, you know, there's something on the line. So any changes made, you're like, man, I hope these work. Zero steering input across the side there. I would expect no different. And here's what I'm looking at. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm looking at the direct interface point between the tread at the bottom. The part of the tire that's not moving, I'm looking at the interface between that and the rock. Because in a class 3, what we want is for that not to be moving. I don't want to see lateral slide unless I attempt to initiate it myself. We've got big chevron on a Baja Claw, so that really helps. Straight bars like a Swamper, things like that, they will get that lateral slide because they don't have any tread block oriented in such a way as to stop that kind of a slide. So the Baja Claw, as soon as I found out that it was a scale tire, has long been my favorite scale tire. These are criminal in how good they are, particularly as, to my knowledge, all of the RC4 drive Baja Claws are X2SS, which is just added bonus. I don't know if we can do the full. Can we do the full wiggler? And yeah, we can get it to drop the rear. That just makes that approach easier, though. You'll notice no lift in the front end there. It's like everything slows down. It's like you're moving in slow motion. And there's nothing, like, those are the cheapest, literally the cheapest 2.2 wheels I could find. No brass rings, no fancy inserts, no nothing. This is tires doing work. And it's Baja Claws. So what we expect from them is tires doing work. There's the very small weakness of the Baja Claw, particularly in this size. If you get one tire loaded up, X2SS is chewing gum. It will grab, and you can pirouette around that tire in a direction not of your choosing. So there is some driving involved. They are not like many of the rear view tires, which are set it and forget it, point it in the direction you want to go, and it will go that way and murder something. It doesn't quite get to that. And then I remind myself, we're talking about the 2.2 Baja Claw in relation to Chisels, Moabs, Hammers, Panther Cougars, Sedonas, right? Up in that echelon, in that realm. This is a scale tire. I mean, it's not a scale tire. It's the scale tire. So in an instance that goes without saying, yet also bears repeating, I've yet to be disappointed by a Baja Claw. I just gave a set of Baja Claws away very recently. They are, as I sit here on this bucket chair, they are in transit between here and their presumably forever home, because if I love a Baja Claw, but if I don't have an application for it, and I don't foresee a future application for it, why are we going to let it rot on a shelf? Zero hesitation. Absolutely zero hesitation. I've got, I think they call it post-nasal drip. I'm just an organism at war with itself. I mean, in multiple aspects, but here it's just the function of my entire respiratory system. Staying in it. How's the stability? I mean, there are no problems. Do we get any hesitation here? Look at just stuck the bang. Bang. Okay, let's watch out for that guy. Okay, we'll come in this side right here. Any hesitations? None. Yeah. Mechanical hesitations are more often than not driver induced. Let me get a little let me do some little dug nuts here. Yeah, they're not, this is full blown hero dirt on the ground out here. They're not picking up much. They're picking up a little. Let's see, any effect? Nah, the Baja Claw has this near perfect ratio of lug to not lug. Like, they don't load as heavily as others. I genuinely think that full chevron, the tire pattern is like a tractor. There's a reason tractor tires look like tractor tires. And I think that these perform equally well on an array of surfaces. We've yet to meet the surface that the Baja Claw doesn't like. So let's hit the 3 cuts and remind myself constantly to keep a close eye on the field view monitor, because cameras are stupid. Full manual cameras are very stupid. They need to be told what to do in all instances. If my field view monitor, for any reason, loses signal, the camera stops recording. And it doesn't just stop recording, it ignores everything that has recorded up to this point. And this is all a single file. So we lose everything. The cheap, no-name batteries that I use to power my field view monitors are a bad choice from the beginning, because this video started with the power for the field view monitor at 80%. Then it dropped to 60. Now it's at 40. We've been recording for about 14, 15 minutes, I think. Now it's all I focus on. I'm splitting my vision between, I think we're just not getting driver rear in a spot. Can I get some more of this little side lug pull right here? There's a little spot. That's what tumbledore do. We'll come back to that. Yeah, camera really does not. I mean, it flattens, right? We've got the 2-dimensional flattening. So verticality tends to be what is lost. You can't really tell how vertical something is. Passenger rear right there is completely vertical. Oh, just a little. Got to turn it back. There you go. Width is not an assistant out this wide on the end. Let me cut back towards the little bit of a steeper section right here. I want to see this push over right here. Is it going to raise? Is it going to raise? Grab a little fence if you've got to. There you go. Take that steer angle out of it. Most of that wheel stand, pushing that wheel high in the air, that's steering input. We're transferring rotational mass. It can move. We descend as if we are not descending. That little spot, there was a little momentary hesitation coming down right there. Not uncommon for a front axle or pumpkin to get ground up on that rock right there, the one we just passed over. And once one end loses traction, the rear's still touching, you usually do a little tumble down, but we've got so much ground clearance on 148s. Okay, this is way too steep of a cut, or is it? Get the fence side. We've got some pretty good low speed here. All right, I want to stay really fence side. Okay, we're falling into the hole, and we're gonna claw our way out, but if I can grab a little bit of fence. Okay, this is a spot we've been before. We'll take one more cut at the no look. Like I can't see. I can't see where I need to place the tire. I know where to place it. And I guess what we're doing through this process is attempting to draw a mental map of tire placement. I know where I need to be. And we know we have a surplus to excess of forward drive if I can make this on the no look, not being able to see it. I know the Baja Claw is going to make this. Where is my placement? Where is my placement? That's too much fence side. It's too much rock side. We're just kind of oscillating. Okay, let's leave it right there. All right. So what I need is I'm bound up driver rear right there. So I need to come more this way. Right here. Right here. Right there. Need to grab that edge. And there's the edge. Now, we're not through yet. We're not through yet. Cut back again, and there we're through. Yeah. It is a tire that responds so well to steering input, which is precisely what we want. And we've got some nice cut in here. We're gonna overload that front end. Manage to hold it, put the rear down. Yeah. As manipulable as any tire that you could put on. These are phenomenally good. And you know what? I'm gonna have to check the internet before we finish. Is this a Quickview? Does RC4WD four-wheel drive still make these? They discontinue stuff just like at random. So I don't even know. I'm not saying explicitly that I feel like this is gonna be easy mode right here, but I feel like this is gonna be easy mode. We have a ton of clearance. We have forward drive in surplus, if not excess. We have a ton of available steer angle. If I can get that nose over right there, we can do a little side pivot, come down. Do we get upset? No, not at all. We'll do the full wrap. Couldn't quite make it around. That's foam folding, you know. Dual stage isn't gonna fold right there. But like how much forward drive would we sacrifice? That I don't know. And I would say that if a dual stage in here doesn't compromise forward drive significantly, I would probably angle towards the dual stage because we have so much forward drive. We can give some of that. Are we going to hit white side? No. Yes. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah. Sometimes we follow the rules, sometimes we don't. That was, I don't know, kind of amazing. I was going to maneuver back and knock the second ball off, but I mean, if I got to walk over there, we might as well just move on. Yeah. Pull, my man. Left side, right side, center cut. Ooh, a little slower. I think we have a width. We've got a big puffy side lug betrayal again. Doesn't happen often. Is that going to push us right side? Yeah. Very wide. We're on big capras. We could be narrower. That doesn't take away from, I don't feel like that takes away from the tire at all. How about the low speed? Ooh, little steering input. There we go. We're really here to see bump anyway. Yeah, they pull slow. Get a kick. Not much. There we go. We can, if you go really crazy, yeah, there you go. But like with many X2SS, any of the, prehistoric G8, hot bodies white, any of these sorts of compounds, the amount of bump you need is like about a 15% increase in throttle. You just whip, you give it a little whip, a little bit of a whip, there you go. You'll find that point. You'll find that point that it catches. And excuse theater, always in operation. I only have a couple of minutes to get used to any specific tire. And then sometimes I never drive them again. So we bounce around a little. And all that remains, Hans Booby and wet. Yeah, that was pushing straight in. We've got some width. I want to get out real far on that yellow side. That was very nearly a hold there. Okay. Let's see if that was because we carried a little bit of hero dirt. I had no reason to be out that deep. We can push in so high on entry. I can already start my cut back there. Oh, well, now it's getting there. So much drive. Okay. Width, small amount of side leg betrayal. Okay, we need to touch it because we're getting right there. Yeah, once again, so the shape pointing directly at the yellow marker, for those who don't remember, I left a wheelbarrow out on a day of not forecast rain, and it rained, and that's just Portland cement dried into the shape of a wheelbarrow. So we flipped it upside down, slapped it on there. It is tremendously reactive to changes in humidity. That thing is wet. If you touch it, your hand comes back wet. So that's why we're getting that little loss of nose angle. Let me correct that entry. Come across, come up here. So this is basically a wet test. Now, I think if I touch, will that hold? No. No. So there's definitely a little bit of interpolation allowance happening right here because the entry is super strong. I'm just gonna hit white side so that we can stay up. Like if we get over the crest right there, do we have enough? Yes. Yeah. It drives really, really hard. That is an extremely localized situation there. That amount of wet on there. Well, okay, let's see. Let's double down for the guarantee. Dead pull. It's really hard to get that rear end up over there because it's so vertical. A little bit of steering input, betrayal. There we go, hook it. That might. A little bit of slip back because we're sliding the pumpkin right there. A little bit of throttle. Settle it over, settle it. Yeah, it'll get us to the same spot. It's not going to give us magic, but it's going to give us like so much better than most. I guess in the spirit of today, this is just the more wet test. Oh, little hesitations there. Again, we're going to go from 90% humidity to, I guess, 100%. I'm going to take the wide side here. Let me see. Wide marker out. Yeah. Little slippy on the really loose stuff. well, wet, loose, wet, loose, more wet. We don't have to get it very wet. It's not going to soak. Usually the problem we have is that there's like a high level of absorption from the rock, but the rock is pretty well saturated already. Take a pass or two for them to really soak up. Yeah, that you can tell when it's mechanical. Because as soon as you change wheel direction, off you go. Yeah, absolutely. Like no, it's X2SS. I mean, and it's a Baja claw. Yeah, the super slow-mo there. Yeah, tires full wetted in now. If there's not something binding it up, we can go super slow. Yeah. It's X2SS. It does X2SS things. There's a nice little bind there. Yeah, just because you've got 148 millimeter tires doesn't mean you can't bind them up. Even using the new method, for whatever reason, perhaps it's the combination of multiple allergy pills inside my bloodstream, I had to do the math on that 3 times to get it right, and we only had 2 different scores. It's a 98.4. I still don't trust that score. I neglected to look up where the old Baja claw was. My brain wants to say 97.7 is the C2 Baja claw. And that is correct, 97.7. 98.4, and I still, man, okay. I still don't trust the math. I still don't trust the math. And it's a good thing because it's 98.2. He got 8 98s and 2 99s. That's a 98.2. Will your results vary? Almost certainly, unless you build one of these, which wouldn't be that hard. Like I said, there's nothing rare or exotic, and I don't think, I mean, aside from I didn't deduct anything at Hans Booby because there was some side sliding there that would be absolutely expected because it's proper wet out here, 90% relative humidity. This is the desert, so we operate in extremes, and today is one of those extremes. It's cold for us and very wet for us. There's puddles on the ground around here. The ground is pretty wet. The Baja Claw is a tire perfectly suited to being tested in this kind of environment, and I'm very happy with a 98.2. That is half a point better than a 1.9, and that is the benefits of scale. Like, the tire is big. It's big, and it has a big contact patch, and you can get away with a lot. You can get away with a real lot. Do I feel like it's the tire that I would choose to run over any other? Not on this. It would make me want to build something to put it on. It would make me want to try them on something else that I have that runs full big 2.2s. I've got a rig on 2.2 ruptures. I've got a rig on 2.2 full-size tusks. I would like to see this against a full-size 2.2 tusk on a rig built for a full-size 2.2 tusk. It might be interesting. It might be something that we pursue in the future. But for today, we've arrived at a 98.2. Oh, and one last thing to look up. Added to the A-Main catalog on June 7th, 2013. The 2.2-inch RC four-wheel drive Mickey Thompson Baja Claw TTC RC4ZT0065 is still available at $32 a pair, and there you go. The only curiosity I would have about brand new ones versus these is what kind of foams come in them. As I said, I had to source these. RC four-wheel drive infamous for providing you with sofa cushions, and I have no idea what you'll get. So there might be a little tinkering that you have to do. I've found that, like, if you have another set of 2.2 tires anywhere, that's what these are. These are the foams from 2.2 Duratrax Showdowns, which are a little wider. So it stuffed these a little. I think that might be we had a little bit of sidewall betrayal. But overall, for just picking a foam that fit rather than a foam that's geared towards being optimized, strongly okay. I think we did strongly okay with a 98.2, and it's not a rear view, so you can go out and buy them, which is, like always, a bonus. If you got camper axles and you're running something with a cage, maybe something to consider. Oh, how bad do we need a 2.2 LP Baja claw? Real bad. Real bad. So until we get that, you're just going to have to build your rig bigger and run these. And we're going to run them back on inside. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you so much for watching. Invite you to tune in for whatever we have to have next. List any questions, comments, concerns in the comments below. We'll see you next time here from the canyon. These did very okay. 98.2. You know it's a good day if you put down a 98.2 and you feel like, yeah, that seems about right.